KAL HALAL YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. As I said, Yahweh, no, KAL HALAL, all praises. All praises to Yahweh, who they only call God, BAHASHAM, and the name Yahawashi, who they only call Jesus Christ. Ruach, and that's the Holy Spirit. This is another digital epistle to the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 tribes of Yasharallah. Double honors to all the elders and apostles that have been laboring in this work, and honors to all the men pushing on the likewise doctrine, and any man, any Akim, any AHBAL that is believing, that is brother and sister. How long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For the Lord Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
What up, YouTube? I views back in here with one more video. Joined today by a very special guest, Ray.
Hey.
Say what up.
How's it going?
Listen, I want to do a reaction video. This video was sent to me via my Instagram at Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. It's long, but you know how to spell. If you don't, there's a link to it right down below in the description box. Go follow your boy. I started to go live up there. All right, click on the notification bell so you guys can join the conversation. So you want to go over this court case that was sent to me on my Instagram.
Yes.
We haven't seen it. We don't know what it's about.
No.
There at the Why didn't I sit?
Mr. Carter, it looks like you brought this case, so what's going on?
Yes, Your Honor. I am a manager at an urban clothing store, and I only make $35,000 a year, and I'm paying child support. So my ex-wife here, she is a dental assistant, and also she does Herbalife distribution, and she's making a little over 200 grand a year. And I just need a little help.
Dental assistant?
She's not doing child support at all, and it's a struggle for me right now. I'm a retired U.S. veteran, and it's just a struggle with my two boys.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Well,
why do you agree with everything that he's saying?
no, I do not.
Okay, so what?
If he stayed at the casinos, he probably would have more money than he does.
That's not true, Your Honor. I'm always home with my boys when I'm not working.
Okay, who's paying child support in this case?
And
What?
I have custody with my boys.
No.
He's paying child support. It looks like
He has custody?
you guys.
Wait a minute. He has custody.
And he's paying child support.
He's making $35,000 a year, and she's making $200 as a dental assistant. I didn't know they made that much money.
Yeah, they do. She's making 4 times the amount of money as him. And like, you go into a court case, like, don't paint yourself as the victim. She looks so angry.
No man shall enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. Mark 3:27. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna rob a house with like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's president. I can't get him unless I subdue him. I tie him up. You know, when we had mighty men falling in the word, when we had David, when we had Solomon on the throne, people couldn't come against Israel. And same way, Israel had to go off for them to spoil our house. And just know, like the other nations knew our Lord Yahweh was with us. And that's why they came against us, bro. And that's why they push everything to make us forget our heritage. And just like this, see how cold Yahweh is? Yahawashi? Yeah, see how we were going off. We were worshiping the Queen of Heaven. We were worshiping our women. And now, in this final captivity, how he's really put our women above us. That this man, in what world should that woman be making more than that man? It's crazy. And someone could do something like dental assisting, which isn't even a crazy science. So dental stuff hasn't really even advanced in like the past 100 years, really. And they're putting mercury in your brain. There's more witchcraft. They're putting mercury in your teeth and your feelings, leaking out of your feelings, leaking out of your mouth, causing like brain damage. You know, this pharmakia, this witchcraft that we call medical system is wicked. So this witch is getting is already making more than him, yet you got to pay child support. That's binding the strong man. You know what I mean? Israel, the former of all things. You even got Carl Tucker admitting that with the Israelites, the Negro, especially in America, African American tribe of Judah, that they prove that they know that we're superior. They know that, well, in the right environment, we are just better mentally, physically, and spiritually. And we know for them, they had to bind the strong man's house, the house of the Lord, the house of Yahweh, the house of Israel. Had to get us going off. They weaken us, they destroy our homes. You know what I mean? There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third maketh me angry. A man of war that suffereth poverty, a man of understanding that are not set by, and one that return from righteousness to sin. The Lord shall prepare one such for the sword. It grieveth his heart. A third maketh me a man that suffereth war poverty. Like, and it's crazy. Like, you know how the VA system be doing his dirty. You fought for America, especially you went through a couple tours, and you should be taken care of. You know, America's such a wicked nation. We're watching so many Israelites, and just like how Israelites in their captivities were fighting in the armies, how Israelites, you could see in the Josephus that Israelites chose to fight with Alexander the Great, and then when they fought with Alexander the Great, they still had the right to worship Yahweh, Yahawashi. Because Alexander the Great wasn't that bad on the Israelites, but you know, after his rule, and the four generals proceeded after him, spread many wickedness. Wickedness increased in the earth, you know. But especially in Rome, a lot of Roman centurions, you know, they're really only like 12 Edomite Caesars. Because really, the bulk of the prophecies were really supposed to be, you know, in America. Constantine is really.
Yeah, she looks angry, bitter. I mean, this is just hurt people.
But it's just crazy how you just see soldiers, military, homeless. You can't get help, alcoholics. VA messed up. It's crazy.
How dare she
No, don't play with that.
talk about his gambling shit, which is a complete and utter accusation. What we know for sure is the incomes, because that can be absolutely proven beyond a reasonable doubt just looking at a pay stub.
That stank face, though, I can't.
Yeah, she looks like a terrible human being. Let's go on.
Stank face. It says, a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. There is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. It says, watch over your impudent eye, marvel when she not trespass against thee. Don't be surprised. Don't put your woman on such a high pedestal. Don't put her like she's an angel, like she's so perfect that when she goes off, you're extra shook, you're extra hurt, you're playing yourself. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he have found a fountain and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. The grave of the Lord is the light of her husband, and her discretion fattens his bones. So, when she opened her mouth, was a thirsty traveler, and drink from every water. You know, you can get that. You know, you can get that. No. Open her quiver. She opened her legs for every arrow. Like, it's funny how arrows are really just flying swords. You know, the word sex comes from sextos, I believe. It's the cut. The cutting of them. What is marriage? Is the cutting of that hymen. The grace of the wife. I got that right. You know, found his bones. You know, because if you really got a woman, she's supposed to be your peace. You know what I mean? Especially us going through captivity. You know, we know this is our punishment. But imagine, like, if you really had captivity, you had a good wife in captivity, bro. Like, most of these people got wicked women, bro. They still going off. They'll give the Lord for them. Wouldn't be taking a lot of men off the truth. But you know, when a woman's sniping at you, nothing's better than that honeymoon phase. You feel like you could do anything. You know, when you kind of feel real comfortable, you really see that she competing with you. And she taking every under like below the belt shot. Like she's making jokes and like, damn, bro, like you really coming cold. Like you really feeling like that because like you know what I mean. Society's trying to be a man, bro. She wants to just be like a man, bro. All women, all wicked women, just jealous that they just want to know what it feels like to be a man. So we got a woman in power. A lot of the times, bro, they'll just snap on you just because, bro. Because that's what they assume is just cool about being a man. Just get the yelling, just get the fuck everything, and they can call you dirty, but you can't call women dirty because men do what she calls men dirty for doing. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? She will say that all men are dirty, they just smash anything, right? But she can't be accounted for her actions, or her body count don't matter, because men, I guess that's a lot of women, but she still condemns it. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace in her continent. A continent mind cannot be valued. If you got a righteous woman, you cannot value it. You know, that's why there's a saying, if you want to see the state of a nation, look at their women. Look at our women. As the sun when it riseth in the heaven, so is the beauty of a good woman in the ordering house. As the clear light is upon the holy candlestick, so is the beauty of a face in ripe age. In manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, shamefacedness, and sobriety. You know, she out here going on vacations, drinking tea and not with broiled hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Let all women be silent in subjection. Let the woman not usurp authority over the man. But I suffer a woman not to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not to see, but the woman was being in transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbirth, continue in faith, in charity, and sobriety. You know what I mean? And is it really faith? If I'm out here, is it really charity if I'm out here using what I got to spoil my kids? And when the kids go to dad house, you know, I can't do all the things that he could do. Exodus 21:7. If a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, and before you get all hurt or try to act like this, it's a super left field. You know, the word woman comes from a German word means waif. So that's what the word woman comes from, waif, which means, well, that's our woman or wife. Wife. Woman, wife, same. So if you're saying that's his wife, you're saying that's his woman. You know, there's no dating in the Bible. There's no sin. Like there's a reason why you got Miss and Mrs., but you got Mr. and it don't change. Because for a man, him having a child, shouldn't change how he is. When he get a partner, it shouldn't change. And a woman also means servant. Servant means slave. Get over it, bro. And this is not for the weak. It's for people who seek not their own righteousness and seek the righteousness of the Lord. If a man selleth his daughter and be a maidservant, and she shall not go out. She shall not go out as the maidservants do. But she ain't trying to do what she has to do as a wife. You know, she's not trying to do her duties. Not trying to do her duties of marriage. If she please not her husband, who hath betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her go to be redeemed, to sell her unto a strange nation. We have no power, seeing he hath dealt with her deceitfully. And if he have betrothed her to his son, he shall deal with her after the manners of daughters. If ye take another wife, her food and raiment and her duty of marriage shall not be diminished. So he take himself another wife. So that's why you have like they have in a woman was a property of her father. And there's value, when you have a daughter, you know what I mean. If you have a son, you have a son that you would teach in your craft, and you'll give them inheritance, so they could build on and they could put it on your name, and that's where their assets are in their work, and their daughters in the Israelite culture would take care of the household, cook, clean. So if you had a daughter in your house, your daughters were doing stuff. It was an asset to have a daughter in the house as a father. You cared after your daughter. So you'd have to pay a dowry of sorts. So when it talks to if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, so what? If a man could sell his daughter to another man, and he could treat her like a maid, if he chose not to break her hymen, but if he did, they're married. So this cuts multiple that men can only have one wife. That's not that sin Bible. And if he do not do all these things unto her, then she shall go free without money. So when these people leave relationships, you're not supposed to be giving her money. The gospel of Yahawah Yahawashi is not for sins.
Split custody. So it says Sunday through 1 week with one parent, and then Sunday.
The gospel of Yahawah Yahawashi is for the true alpha men. The only real true alpha is Yahawashi. But alpha means beginning. Psalms 32. We are the angels that were cast out of heaven and put in those chains of darkness, these bodies, to serve our captivity. That in the last days we may be raised up and redeemed from Yahushua to be those angels to return to our first state and rule with our dominion with the 144,000 and the great multitude that will be delivered. And then the rest of the 2/3 that will be taken out of Jacob's trouble, and that will be brought back through the line to the 144,000 in the.
But here's the thing, Your Honor. She's always
great multitude.
Vacation. She's always gone. So I've had my boys for a little over 7 weeks straight. She has not seen the kids in 7 weeks.
Sir, when I address her, you stop talking.
Yes,
Yeah, big fact.
Ma'am, you see this man right here? He will make sure that you're escorted out of this courtroom. You do not need any more loud outbursts. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you. Now you may continue, sir.
She goes on vacation. She's out of town all the time. I've had my boys for 7 weeks straight. She hasn't seen her boys in 7 weeks.
7 weeks straight. Wait a minute. You guys are supposed to continue, sir.
She goes on vacation.
Make sure that you're escorted out of this courtroom.
Look at this.
You do not need any more loud to be alternating weeks, because if the children are with him 7 weeks straight, they're you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you. Now you may continue, sir.
She goes on vacation. She's out of town all the time. I've had my boys for 7 weeks straight. She hasn't seen her boys in 7 weeks.
7 weeks straight.
Rosen, right?
Wait a minute. You guys are supposed to be alternating weeks, because if the children are with him 7 weeks straight, that means his expenses are increasing. And based on the paperwork that you provided from your employer, it says here you make about $125,000 as, what is it, where is it that you're working?
Where's it from?
I work for a dental firm.
Okay.
And we make a lot of different castings and models for false teeth and implants. However, Your Honor, when I've been out, it's because I've been doing training.
Okay, that's great.
So
no one, excuse me, no one is disputing whether or not you're doing training, but according to the documents that you provided, you make about $125,000 at your main job, and then an additional $25,000 doing Herbalife on the side. So that amounts to about $150,000 a year. This man only makes $35,000, and you think he should still be paying child support and he has the children more than you? Is that what you're asking me to do?
I'm just letting you know that.
I don't need to know what you're letting me know. I need for you to answer my question. Is that what you're asking me to do? Allow this man to keep paying child support, and you're making excuse me, that's my job, thanks.
I like her.
You make $150,000 a year.
I pay for the boys' private school.
Wait a minute, can we just talk about making $25,000 a year of Herbalife? Is that like a do they really make that
Let
much?
me find out.
Yeah, she must be at the top of the goddamn shit, because most of them motherfuckers is making $0 per year.
Or something, but that,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he's making 30 something.
35.
25 she's making just off of that.
How dare she still want the goddamn, what type of depth?
Whoever shall find this wife findeth a good thing and obtain favor of the Lord Yahweh. It's true. That's true. All the women want to bring out that verse. Never the next one. Never the next verse. He that getteth a wife begotteth a possession, a help unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Notwithstanding she be saved in childbearing, and she continue with faith and charity and holiness and sobriety. And you know how she looked. She ain't no faith, nigga. She got faith in Esau, nigga. She got faith in the almighty dollar. She got faith in the white man. She got faith in the feminism. She got faith in America. She lament for the teeth and being able to work like this. Being able, only a dollar, bro. She only make money in the system where the dollar is valuable, you know. And this debt-based system. The only reason why women are working is this debt-based system. The only thing that's happened since women started working is the cost of life has really just gone up. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman.
Devil child is this young lady? Like, Jesus.
She's got it written all over her face. I just don't know.
They have private piano lessons. I pay for several. I pay their
Excuse me, Your
health
Honor.
insurance.
Excuse me, Your Honor. Both of my boys are on scholarship.
Okay, you know, that's beside the point here. Ma'am, you guys have a split custody arrangement. You understand that, right?
Yes, I do.
Not in all
gone.
cases does somebody have to pay child support, because it's up to me to decide if someone pays child support or someone doesn't pay child support. But with the earning differences, $35,000 a year, $150,000 a year, sir, what type of things are you able to afford to do with your boys? And taking into account your bills and everything like that.
This is a direct example of the unfair family law system that we currently live in. Like, how can we expect men to continue to want to get married if this is a potential outcome? Like this is frightening, right? Like I look at shit like this and I'm just saying to myself, I don't even know. Are they? Did she start making this money after they got divorced? Right? Like,
Were they married? I don't think they ever said that they were married.
That's a good point.
But regardless, they have children. I mean, it all comes down to, like, you need to be careful about who you are having children with. And I know that things change later on. People, you know.
What this family law court shit is, right? This child support shit is, and how men can be very unfairly and unjustly made to do things that seem incomprehensible. You guys are masters of hiding your capability.
You guys. I mean, I think that we have to look at why the system is like that in the first place. The legal, you run
the court.
I think that that's unique situations. I feel like, you know, most of the time it's what are you willing to avoid or look past.
Then on this, you need to go outside and play at the park. Maybe Six Flags every now and again.
Okay, ma'am, what are some of the things that you're able to do with the boys?
As much as I can when he allows them to come over.
You know what? See, you're playing games. Let me ask you the question. What has she done with the boys?
She takes them to Paris. They go overseas.
Paris.
They've been on
Never been to
Disney
Paris.
cruises. Every time she gets them, they're going somewhere special and fancy. And Whoa.
Well, I mean, it would make sense if you were making $150,000.
And she just lucked
right?
up on the job, Your Honor. So just to be
And this
quite
is considering he's living in my $350,000 house and he doesn't pay any type of mortgage at all whatsoever.
You have a $350,000. Ma'am.
He lives in the $350,000.
He lives in it, but you
house,
own it,
Your
right?
Honor.
You own it. You
And
have
he
all
doesn't
of
pay
this
any
money.
bills.
You have all of it. But the kids have been with him for 7 weeks, ma'am.
Because I was doing training so I can continue to send them to the private schools that they attend
Well,
and have the best and the finest things.
That's great.
She keeps trying to say, to their private schools on scholarship.
But you know what? You know what? That's why you come to court, so I can resolve these issues, right? So let me tell you what we're about to do. $150,000 a year.
I need the car back.
I have
Yeah,
your gross at $12,500. How many children do you have, ma'am?
2.
2. Okay. Net at $9,000.
Why is she asking for
Okay,
her
based
children?
on
Why is it not their
20.63%. Okay.
Oh, I do take care of my sister's 3 children as well.
What?
When did this start?
Wait.
6 months ago. 6 months ago.
Whose children are these?
Our sons belong to him and I, but I have 3
Okay.
of my sister's children that I take
Okay.
care of.
Well, let me let you know how this goes, okay? Anybody else's kids are not
Is she a judge?
part of this case. Understood? So you have 2 children that are involved in this case we're here about, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what we're going to do is offset the child support based on the amount of money that you
Okay,
make. You
what's
understand that? Ma'am, you have any questions?
Oh, my bad.
No, Your Honor.
Because
There's so
you're
much
giving
going
me
on.
this look like you're confused on what's going on here. Okay, so based on this, I did an offset of what you would make and what your child support obligation should be a month. So your child support obligation comes out to $1,456 a month. That is to be paid each month on the first of each month, and those payments are going to be allocated to Mr. Carter. Ma'am, it's not fair to your children that at Dad's house they're not able to do as much as they are to do with you, and it's not to punish you for having a great job. That's awesome. However, when you think about what's in the best interest of these children, they can't go to Disneyland and do all of that with Dad. Did you ever stop to make it, ask your kids how they feel about that? It's not fair to get to do everything with you and not with Dad. And he only makes $35,000 a year.
Your Honor, I understand, but when I was out getting education, he decided to run around and chase everything that had legs.
This has
Okay, well,
nothing
you
to do
know
with
what?
nothing.
You know what? You guys need to be in.
And if he worked for her, and he was out here fighting wars, or whatever he was doing, as long as he was giving her the duty of marriage, he was giving her food, raiment, and housing. What can she righteously, biblically, what really can she say? And the whole time she wasn't submitting to him. So that's why women be like, they're talking about, well, you gotta have a lot of money to have a lot of men. Well, okay. Well, but that's not. I mean, I shouldn't be taking another wife if I can't provide for her. But realistically, what women already don't have a husband? Well, hymen is already cut. So we harkened onto the law to our best of our ability. But hey, if she want to hold me to not being able to provide perfectly, or she ain't gonna submit to me perfectly. You know what I mean? If she don't submit to me perfectly, does that give me a right not to fear her? Or just to cut her off all my duties in marriage, not provide for her, not shelter her? So it's just...
court for that has nothing to do with me. Anything else pertaining to these children and the money's here?
No,
Anything
Your
else?
Honor. No, Your Honor.
Anything else from you? Okay, thank you. You all may be excused.
This is very interesting.
So
Hi, guys.
I think it would be really different if she was the one, weekend of the you can take care of them.
Have this house over here, lives in.
People say, we just hate women. No, we love women. We just want them to be in their righteous lot. And hey, y'all can hate us. Go ahead. Go ahead. You can hate this word. Go to your Queen of Heaven, White Jesus Church. And enjoy your time with. It's better to dwell in a corner of a housetop than with a brawling woman in a white house. Better sit on the roof than be in a mansion when men sleep on the roof. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked. He cover up the faces of the judges thereof. If not, who is he? This is really talking about, I saw, how Esau really covered up all the images of the saints and the prophets and the Lord, and made them all so-called white people. But not only, you know what I mean? We have a situation where we have a woman judge right there. Even the word testify, testimony. The word testi even goes back to testicles. You can't give a testimony. You can't testify if you're not a man, if you don't have testicles. But you know, in a righteous kingdom, like you know, you wouldn't have a woman judgment, especially the word I think the word Dan means judge. Like a lot of the system is supposedly based off the Bible. You know, they take it and they cover it up, bro. In a situation where you wouldn't even have a woman judgment, in a situation where a woman wouldn't be suing a man for I would be suing a man for she leaving, like, you know, yeah, the Lord, Israel culture does not glorify that, like, I get to leave your husband. No. You gonna take that L, and people gonna look at you like, oh, I don't want to deal with her. Like, the Lord does not glorify that divorce. You know, what the Most High bring together, let no man separate. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself with overmuch liberty. And look, that woman gave herself overmuch liberty. And, like, it's affecting the kid, bro. And an evil wife is a yoke that shaketh to and fro. And that's like a chain on your neck. You know what I mean? He that have holder is if you have a scorpion, you know, you're gonna try to hold something, you keep stinging, you keep holding on to it. A drunken woman, and I gather with a bog, causes great anger. You know, see how she was just walking around doing whatever. She could go leave her kids for 7 weeks, you know. I would rather and you'd still be getting paid child support. And then when she had a kid, she splurged on him. And she was pissing everyone off. A drunken woman, you know she's good. And she's drinking, even if she's not drinking, she's drinking off the philosophies of Babylon. So, and a drunken woman and gather abroad causes great anger. She shall not cover her own shame, but all her defenses just made her look bad. The whoredom of a woman may be known by her haughty looks in her eyelids. That's why I was zooming into her, bro. I want you to see that haughty look in the eyelids. Blinded that strong man.
Pastor Edward Mack says his previous wife had 3 children. He loved them as his own. Then he realized 2 of them were not biologically his.
I never even slept.
HBO's
Daddy about to change.
Yeah.
Most people think you either have to...
Yo, just think about what they just said on national television. They just sat there and said, in Michigan, a man can prove that the child is not his with 100% certainty and still have. Think about what.
Anyway.
But tonight, 7 Action News reporter Kim Russell tells us that maybe about to change.
Yeah.
Most people think you either have to...
Yo, just think about what they just said on national television. They just sat there and said, in Michigan, a man can prove that the child is not his with 100% certainty and still have to pay child support. And the woman just said, maybe that's gonna change. Just maybe. Maybe if you can prove that you're not the father, you don't have to pay child support for a child that isn't yours. Just maybe. That's incredible. And the government's just like, hey, you're getting a little mouthy. Shut your mouth, pull down your pants, and let this happen. All right? You're getting mouthy. We don't care that you've proved your innocence. This is the court of law. We don't care that you proved your innocence. Shut your mouth and go to work.
To adopt or conceive a baby to become legally responsible for a child. Under Michigan law, that is simply not how it works.
I was the father by default.
These 4 men came to the 7 Action News studios to raise awareness. You can become dad by default. There are a couple ways it happens. Pastor Edward Mack says his previous wife had 3 children. He loved them as his own. Then he realized 2 of them were not biologically his.
Oh, that's heartbroken.
144, call halal. 1144, call halal Yahawashi.
A hurting thing. I don't even really want to talk about it because it brings tears to my eyes. So I forget your radio.
Pastor Mack says the betrayal led to divorce. He was shocked when the judge told him because he was married, he became dad by default. He had to pay support for another man's children.
Let her pay for him. Let her get the man she laid down with to pay for him. He goes free.
I never even slept with her. I got a lawsuit when I was young, and she basically just said, that's the money I'm going to get, and she got it.
Reginald Whitlow, Anthony Sims, and Carnell Alexander have similar stories. They say women named them out of nowhere. In 2014, 7 Action News told Carnell's story and found the mother. She said she was told in order to get welfare benefits, she needed to name a father. She knew he wasn't the dad, but wrote down his name anyway.
Everything is my fault that I put him through.
Do you think that he should have to pay this money?
No, he shouldn't have to pay it at all.
Then these men missed paternity.
Yo, they just basically saying, bro, look, here's the thing. If you're a man and these aren't your children, you still have to pay it. Here's how it happens. It only happens 1 or 2 ways. The first one is if you get married to a woman and she cheats on you, you have to take care of that man's children. And the other way is if a woman commits paternity fraud. And then they have a segment where the woman admits to committing paternity fraud. And here's the thing, like, people will complain about the patriarchy and then accept the money. Like, you can't be a feminist and believe in equality if you like alimony, if you accept alimony. That doesn't make any sense. You can't be a feminist and accept equality and say that there's the patriarchy if you're sitting here soaking up child support from a man that you know isn't the father because the government is forcing him to do so. Like, it's only looking up.
Hearing at court a judge because they were either sick or did not receive notice. Carnell had proof. He was in prison when a process server claimed he was served at a house in Highland Park. When they didn't show up at court, a judge ruled them dads by default. They then missed their chance to challenge it with.
So he wasn't even where they accused him of being, and they claimed they served him. This Esau Edom, we know that this child support system is very illegal. It's under the coloring law, not actual law. See, you frame the law by mischief. Ooh, that's good, bro. That's good, bro. Look at that. What is the law? Let's look at that. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee? So did the throne of iniquity of sin? Was it created to just benefit you and just make you rich and help you get money? Like, it's supposed to benefit you? Which frameth law by mischief by law?
With DNA evidence by the court deadline because they couldn't find the women and children.
They wouldn't give me her address because it was confidential.
These men all eventually got DNA tests backing their stories. Too late.
Oftentimes it does make a difference.
Representative Jim Runstead says those DNA tests should make a difference. The Republican from White Lake says he heard the story of Carnell Alexander on 7 Action News and decided to take action. He says this year he hopes to pass legislation that would protect men from being forced to pay for another man's children. Plus, women and process servers who lie should face stiff legal consequences.
This was wrong. Deceiving and lying and obligating people who are not supposed to be obligated to pay bills is wrong.
These men don't just want the law changed to protect others. They want compensation.
I'm getting garnished. I'm getting thrown in jail. I'm getting felony charges.
You have taken our lives. Change that law.
Representative Runstead says he has written 5 draft bills that aim to prevent such fraud, protecting both men and children. He says he plans to introduce them within the next month.
Good
Jim
luck.
Russell, 7 Action News.
Good luck.
Now to attend News Channel 3, getting to the bottom of a burning question one Memphis man has been trying to answer for years. Why is Shelby County Juvenile Court forcing him to pay for a child that is not biologically his? What's even more unusual, he says the judges...
If the grape gatherers come to thee, they would not leave some gleaming grapes. If thieves by night, then they shall destroy none. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grapeviners came to thee, would they not leave them some grapes?
Judges at Juvenile Court
And we know most of like 40% of the money ends up going to the courts anyway.
have an idea who the real father is.
Yet they're still demanding he pay up. Now he's turning to on-your-side investigator Stephanie Skurlock for help.
Talk show TV makes millions off the catchphrase, "You are not the father." But the reality in Memphis is just because you're not the daddy doesn't mean Shelby County Juvenile Court won't make you pay.
I was down there in handcuffs and chains.
Over the years, Edward Bowery had his driver's license stripped and once even found himself in handcuffs over child support payments for a child that's not his.
I would hate to see somebody else go through the same thing. I've been going through this. I mean, headaches.
This mound of paper.
And that's what I'm saying, right? Like these people will say, okay, well, this is just the way it is, and it's to protect children, right? But yet these same people will lock a man up, which we know. They'll lock the father up, which we know is the most important, right?
It says, "As for my people, children are their oppressors. Women rule over thee. O my people, they shall lead, as it causes them to err, and destroy the way of thy paths."
But yet these same people,
they covet fields, and they take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
which we know, they'll lock the father up, which we know is the most important component to a child's life. We know that if I have it.
And how we know these are Israelites of the Bible? It says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled, for all are snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none saith restore. It says, for Jews account for 1.7% of the 1.7% of the prison population in the United States. Percent of Jews in prison small.
Having a father in a child's life is the most important component.
And now you see who cover up the faces of the judges. Truly Amalek, the head of Esau.
And if these institutions are truly for the betterment of children, why would you lock a father up for not being able to make payments? Like in this case, he's not the father. He's proven that he's not the father, and he's still getting locked up. But what I'm saying is, if I'm the biological father, why would you ever, if it's for the betterment of the children, lock me up because I can't make payments? And the truth of the matter is, and nobody wants to say this, the truth of the matter is the state gets 66% of every dollar collected for child support. So they
said 40, 66%. You see that number, 66?
To make men pay child support. And then we go, well, why do these laws still exist where women can just write down a random name and a man is responsible for paying child support for 18 years, which is on average $250,000 to raise a child from 0 to 18 in America, right? Like, why does this happen? And it's because the state gets paid for it. They're all in bed. There's too many hands being moist, right? There's too many people getting money from these institutions for them to ever disappear. So somebody's going to pay that child support. We don't even care if it's the father. We're going to make somebody pay. And this is what I talk about when I talk about men just being taken advantage of. Like, let's just be completely honest. Everybody can agree that if you're not the father of a child, you shouldn't have to pay child support on it. But nobody's talking
before the birth.
I didn't do a voluntary acknowledgement. I didn't sign the birth certificate. All I knew is we legitimated the child in your name.
Valerie asked several judges during several hearings for a DNA test, but no judge ordered one.
I said, how did I even get put on child support? And
see, so that's how you know the system thirsty. It require a man to take a test, but not a woman.
Said this was my child. And they said, again, this is not what we're here for.
In 2009, he took the child himself to get a DNA test and found the son he'd supported for years was not biologically his. He took the documentation to court. The judge wouldn't accept it, but ordered a new DNA test done that showed the same results. Probability of paternity, 0%.
They never did do what they were originally supposed to do, which was give me the opportunity to take a DNA test. I was just a voice not being heard, so I guess I needed a choir.
Juvenile court magistrate Nancy Kessler agreed in October to allow Valerie to disestablish paternity, but only after, he says, she admonished him for taking it this far.
The judge stated that, well, I find it very distasteful that you're bastardizing a child.
The judge
my God. Now that's going to drive me up the wall. And this is what I'm talking about. If we're going to do the equality thing, which I am for, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it, right? If we're going to do the equality thing, well, I actually like traditional families. I'm more of a guy makes the money, woman takes care of the children kind of guy. But if we're going to do the equality thing, right, where we really push for this, we got to keep the accountability the same way. And the judge can sit there and, no, the woman didn't know that it's not yours, and you're wrong if you don't do it.
Wrong if you don't. You don't. Life or darkness. If I don't take care of another man's seed.
That's absolutely insane to me. That really rubs me the wrong way that we're trying to do this equality thing and everybody's throwing it in men's faces. But then when it comes, I don't get that. Let's keep going.
Support going forward.
It's not equality. It's Queen of Heaven worship.
But Valerie still has to pay $450 a month to the mother in back pay. He doesn't believe he should have to pay anything. In fact, he believes someone owes him money, the $30,000 he's already paid. Administrators at Juvenile Court denied our request for an interview on this case, saying it's not appropriate to comment about rulings. What are the chances of him getting his money back?
It is very unusual and very infrequent.
Family lawyer Miles Mason says in a similar case, the Tennessee Supreme Court ruled a man in Middle Tennessee could sue his ex-wife for fraud. He got a $100,000 judgment.
There was a very large judgment awarded against the mother, but I doubt it would be likely that they would be able to collect in most cases.
Because if we're just completely honest, and that's the end of the video, if we're just completely honest, single mothers are the poorest demographic in America, right? So even if you were to sue for all that money that you may have paid for a child that isn't yours, you're not going to get it back, and the court isn't really going to enforce it. They don't care. They say these institutions are for the betterment of children, but they'll lock up the most important component to a child's life, which is the father, if he isn't paying that child support that they collect 66% of, whatever. Nothing to see here, people. Anytime you want to look at corruption in these situations, just follow the money. Who's making money? Who's just getting taken? Father, they will be, and he.
KAL HALAL YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. I hope this lesson was edifying.